just double checking that the stream's all going well, that everyone's able to hear me. Otherwise, we should be able to get started and get along the way. We're loading into practice 1 now. Won't be a moment before we can properly get started. For this fabulous night tonight, really looking forward to tonight's race. It's going to be a very close and competitive race tonight. Really looking forward to seeing how it's going to end up. Won't be a moment before we can properly load in and get started. Just making sure everything's okay. Yeah, perfect. Okay, yep. Oh, my voice is coming through twice. Sorry, I'll fix that one up. Okay, is that one? That one hopefully should be a bit better there. Perfect. Yeah, okay, perfect, Chris. Perfect, awesome. We can certainly get along the way now. So we're gonna have a look here. We're just in the practice time. We're gonna have a little bit of time. We've got 20 minutes. We're going to be able to get a better understanding of how these guys go in this track. We've got quite a good lineup of drivers tonight. We've got 19 different drivers. It's good to see Woody on the track instead of live streaming tonight. I'm glad that I've been able to actually be able to see his performance on this track. I've done a lot of laps around this Cabalta before. It's a really, really interesting layout. There's a lot of sharper corners here. There's a lot of long straights, great overtaking opportunities that I really believe that we're going to see some good action there tonight. We've got Dado coming out into the lap. We've all got our drivers doing our warm-up laps tonight, which we're going to be able to see how their cars handle, if their setups are going to be the fastest on this track. I know from experience the classic setup, the stock setup on these cars are quite quick around this track, but we're going to be able to see who is able to find just those extra couple of hundredths to be able to get those faster in and out of corners. Now we're going to be able to watch and see. I've got no audio. That's my issue that I'm going to fix right now. I won't be a moment. Damn. Won't be a moment, sorry. We're just going to try and get this one sorted so we can hear the cars. Okay. I'm still unable to hear. I'm going to quickly pop in and out just so we can quickly get this audio sorted. Just because we can't access the settings while we're inside of the game, won't be a moment for you that are watching. And there's our issue here. Here we are. Now we've got a bit of audio. Now you guys will be able to hear. We'll get back to this multiplayer. Okay. Hopefully audio gets a bit better on now. Okay, perfect. Hey Colonel, who we got on the mic tonight? So my name's Eli. I'm just filling in for Woody tonight, and hopefully going to be able to do a bit more for you guys for the ANZCRL League tonight. I've been doing live streaming for a little bit now, and I've just found the love of sim racing. And let me just turn this game down a little bit. Where are we? Here we are. Awesome. So we're back in now. Perfect. So now we're getting along the way. Drivers are getting their practice laps in. We're starting to see some quicker laps coming through. Highlander putting down a 1:16.243. That 1:16 mark is going to be quite a competitive area for drivers, where we're going to see drivers peaking into the 1:15s, hopefully seeing races such as Gunn, and we're going to also see Dado peaking into those 1:15s, but it's going to be a real issue when we see others such as Zaki and whatnot. We're going to see them coming in here too, but we've also got some light rain that may come towards the end of our first race. Right now, skies are clear, maybe some cloud cover coming over soon. We've got about 15 minutes of this nice skies until we see maybe some wet and rain that's going to come along. We're not sure how these drivers are going to go strategy-wise. We know that they're going to run either those soft tires and try and slip and slide out in the rain, or they're going to go to wets. Knowing this course has a lot of sharper corners, but a lot of straights as well. So we're going to see a lot of different strategies come from these drivers, and I think that's really going to be what's going to determine the winner of this race. Now, we've got Slide Science, a great racer in this league. I'm not sure. Let me pull up the championship standings. Sorry. So follows where we're going. Won't be at the moment. Sorry. Let's I'd like to be able to see where our leaderboard is. Won't be a moment, sorry. Sorry, I should be a little bit more prepared than this one. That's our next round details. Supercar entry list. Championship. Let's just have a look. I'm so sorry for this one, folks. We'll come back to this one. A lot of different messages from Woody. We are going to be focusing on the action now, watching these drivers. Gunn putting it down a 15.68 now, absolutely flying already into the session. You know that he is an experienced driver, that he's been able, after watching his Bathurst performance, he is able to, a little bit of slip from him already in the practice. That's how you know that these drivers are already on the limits of their cars. I need to get some water here. We'll stay on Gun. I'm just going to go grab a bit more water and I'll be back. race. We've been seeing Gunn. He hasn't been able to put down a faster lap time. I think these drivers, Zach, Dado Racer, they've now gotten to that point in practice where they're taking their cars back to the pit, talking to their engineers. I know they're not actually talking to their engineers, but fixing up their setups, trying to find just those extra few milliseconds to get the advantage. Highlander now not far behind Gunn. He's also putting down some great laps. Let's just follow Highlander as he goes around. This corner here, the fifth corner, you can see just how tricky it can be. That front left tyre tends to lock up, and right out of the corner there's not a lot of traction for these V8 supercars. The amount of raw power they have behind them is just astronomical. You see, oh, my voice will, okay, cool. Let me fix up. Okay, hopefully that one's a bit better there now. No, it's still pretty low. Okay, give us a second. Sorry, I've got a new audio setup that I'm trying out. Hopefully that one there's a bit better there now. We'll go to 15. Okay, cool. Hopefully that one's a bit better there now. We've got, okay, cool. And then we'll get us our audio up, hopefully. Okay, cool. Hopefully that one's a bit better for you now there, Colonel. Sorry, Colonel Lloyd. Awesome. Now let's watch Highlander back out on track after his little slip up, going into the second corner here. This seems to be quite an interesting corner for drivers because that apex tends to be just a little bit further out, which is quite tricky to get that extra second. And you can see here this tricky corner that I'm certain that we're going to see some troubles throughout the race. That like I said, that inside corner, your wheels tend to lock up, and if you lock up, especially with our 3 times tire degradation that we see, that wheel, when it locks up, you have your tires are basically gone now. Yeah, so from there, we've got those other corner, and then we've got the big apex, big long corner. I can't English, my apologies. Before the main straight, which is really important for drivers to be able to get a good run out of that corner onto that main straight. You're going to see drivers with a lower aero package. They're going to find a lot of time in these straights, open this main straight and this section here. These drivers are going to be able to stretch their legs and have an advantage until the corners, where these corners are, it is going to be quite a high downforce setup on these cars just due to these corners here. But from here we're going to see quite a bit of overtaking. We're also going to see a lot of lawnmowers on the grass as well. These V8 supercars, especially on that tricky corner, have a lot of power, so throttle control out of the corner is going to be crucial for these drivers now. You can see here Highlander, that run out of that corner, like I was saying, is really important because it is very tricky to hit that apex perfectly. You'll see these drivers slide, Gun. Let's have a look at Gun. He's put down a faster lap time now. We've got Waylon as well. Waylon's a really good up-and-coming racer that's been putting down some quite promising lap times. He doesn't seem to be doing quite well in this practice at the moment, but I hope his rate, you see a lot of difference between the good drivers and the great drivers, where especially in practices they don't put down crazy lap times. They spend more of their time focusing on race strategy and just the amount of time that they spend looking further into a race than just a number, which is a really crucial point. We saw that at Bathurst last weekend with Dado Racer and Highlander against Gunn in the Penrite vehicle. We saw them that it was just so crucial, that hit that they made. It's just so important that they get that strategy right, because it can determine the final outcome of the race. Got a couple minutes remaining before the practice. Sorry, Christopher, and who was doing the call. That is that's Eli here tonight. I've really been enjoying sim racing, and thanks to Highlander, got into hopefully giving Woody a chance to race tonight. We're seeing Woody. He hasn't spent as much time on the sim as he would have liked. He's recently gone under a spinal surgery or back surgery, which has certainly not allowed him to be able to race as much as he wanted to. So I'm glad that I'm able to step in, and he's also able to step into the driver's seat tonight. You can see him. He's got that pace there, but just finding the right corners after not being in a car for a long time just seems to be struggling a little bit. Hopefully in that race though he's able to find under that race pace. I know from a lot of experience that these drivers can turn into completely different when they're on a grid full of 21 races. Thanks, Christopher. I've just purchased a sim rig and just starting to get into it, but hopefully I'll be able to get on the track in the next couple of rounds, maybe looking towards next year. I just want to get a bit more confident before then, but certainly have the passion of being able to watch these guys race, and very exciting, especially after coming off the back of Bathurst, which the ANZCRL Bathurst League was certainly an amazing race to watch. Definitely, in my consideration, much better than the actual Bathurst 1000. So yeah, it was great to be able to watch these races fight alongside of each other, and around such a long day as well. I know many participants put aside their work and their different commitments to come together for the full 161 laps of Bathurst that they did, and really glad that we were able to see such an amazing race from these drivers. We're watching Highlander now as he comes around second corner, coming onto that main straight. You're going to see a lot of drivers, they don't tend to go very wide out of second corner, but you'll see the really fast drivers, they are able to just use that every inch of the track to be able to get that extra time there. Gunn has just put down a 1:15.2, which is a very, very fast time. He is going to be one to watch in the first and second race here tonight. Gunn was also the leader of the Bathurst 1000 for all 3 rounds until just an amazing performance from Dado and Highlander where they were able to take back a strategy on the last lap, ultimately winning winning the Bathurst 1000. So that was amazing to be able to watch them. We've got 45 seconds before we've got this practice session come to a close, and then we're going to be able to see everyone on the grid and ready to go. I'm just pulling up now the standings of the past. Sorry, I'm just going. It won't be a moment. Sorry, I'm just going to try and find where we are. It was a little bit ago where we saw the standings. I don't think we actually have the standings after the Bathurst race, but I think that that's the website. Won't be a moment, sorry guys. There's been a lot of chat since the last race in the Discord. Won't be a moment. Okay, that's one. That is the general. Yeah, okay, we may not be able to have the standings for this one. I will need to talk to Woody about where I can find those. We have finished up our practice now. Our practice session is over. We're looking forward to see the drivers on the grid, to see this race come alive, coming off the back of Bathurst. We're just waiting now. Drivers are getting ready for their grid start. Now the grid start on this track is a very interesting one. We're going to see they need to find the fine line between spinning those wheels too much to not get a good start, and not having their engines high enough where they can't get the amount of power. Even though these cars have a lot of power in them, you'll see these drivers, they find the perfect amount of slip. Sorry, we're going into qualifying now. My apologies. We will be going into qualifying first. You'll see a lot of cars just diving out to the track to try and sorry, we don't see a lot of drivers yet at all. We're only seeing a few. Oh, my apologies. We can't actually see, because I forgot that you can't see all the drivers at the same time. Okay, awesome. That's great to see. So, now that the drivers are coming out onto track, we're going to see they're going to be able to put in about three full laps of qualifying laps, maybe two, depending if everything goes well. But we're certainly going to be wanting to watch Gun as well as no, we can't go any further back. That's okay, that's okay. We're certainly going to be watching Gun to see how fast he puts a lap down, as well as another great one to watch is going to be Highlander. You can already see they're very similar spots on the track, even on their outlap, which can just show you how confident these drivers are, even on the cooler tyres. Woody's coming out of the track out of the pits as well. It's going to be good to watch him. B. Kane coming around to start his flying lap. It's going to be great. Watching him. Sector 1, 2, just setting up this for... So we can see the chat, and we're all good to go. Okay, perfect. Okay, cool. We're back in. Watching these guys. Where are we? Zachy putting it down a 1:16. Highlander overcoming, and then Woody. Gunn putting in a 15.2 on his first lap out. You know that he has this track dialed now. The amount of time that these racers are able to find, just you can see pushing the limits on every single corner. Highlander not far behind him though, going to go straight into his second qualifying lap. These drivers don't have a lot of time. They may be able to put in a second lap before qualifying finishes, but they really don't have a lot of time to play around. Gunn coming in now. You can see that braking zone into turn 3. He snugs up before the sharp left. He snugs up against the left curve there, and then flies to the right hand side of the track to make it as wide as possible. I know locking up there is a big issue that you're going to see a lot of drivers facing, but not these fast ones here. We're gonna have we've got CMD Cirrus putting down another very quick lap time here. He's also being super quick in Cabalta here tonight. So we've got 15 seconds left of qualifying. We're watching these drivers. They've made their... we're going to see Highlander. We're watching him now, seeing if he can find that extra 0.3 of a second coming out of turn 3. He slides a little bit. We're not sure. He comes down into turn 4 here, this long turn. Drivers do have to tap on the brakes a little bit. And then turn 5 coming around the next corner before this large, long last corner coming into the main straight. We see him, he's coming out of the main straight here. Is he going to be able to put down a better lap time than Gunn? And he comes across the line. No, he is not able to. Gunn, unless we've got Waylon here. He's coming around, looking quite quick as well, coming around before the main straight here. Just coming to the edge of that curve before making it down to our main straight here. And no, he's not able to put down a quicker lap time. Cirrus was able to sneak in just before. JWM Clark is able to overtake CMD Cirrus, but it's not over yet. Cirrus is able to, he's still on, it looks like quite a slow corner coming out of turn 4. Is he going to be able to, sorry, the AI is driving, my apologies. So who are we waiting for? I'm not sure. I think all of these drivers were just waiting to pit now. Yeah, okay, there we are. So we have Gunn qualifying in first place, going to be at the front of the grid. Next to them, we've got Highlander, only that 0.3 of a second behind. Not a lot of time at all. Then we've got Clarkey qualifying third, just an amazing performance by him. Then we've got Cirrus fourth, wasn't able to find the time, but still great in the third row. Then we've got Waylon behind with only a 0.04 of it, 0.03, no, 0.04 of a second difference. Waylon must be a little bit annoyed about that one. That's okay. Dado not far behind him with a 0.2 just after that. we're going to see these drivers not a lot of time at all, but over that 27 laps, we're going to see it really will come down to who can be the most who can carry the most speed around those corners when in a racing scenario. And then we're also going to have to see their strategies as well. That's going to be a great thing to see. Just waiting for everyone to get ready, and then we go into our first race of tonight. Overcast to start off with in our race, and our radar's looking like there's going to make a little bit of light rain towards the end of the race. That's going to be an interesting one for drivers, especially with our medium rubbered in our already rubbered in track. It's going to become slippery very quickly, depending on how much rain falls down. But we're certainly going to see those drivers that are really good at driving in the wet, them being able to perform over just your classic dry ones. So that may be able to change up the standings quite quickly. Now we've got the drivers coming in. Gunn, first position. Highlander on the first row as well with Gunn. Then we've got Clarkey head of the second row with Sirius. Then we've got Waylon in fifth with Dado as well. Loza driving for the trackside team, the soda team, sorry, with Timmy right on that outside. It's going to be an interesting one to see Mark next to Slide Science as well, getting further to that back of the track. Zachy and Wadey. This first corner is not a wide one, so B. Kane and Captain Awesome also going to see them go side by side coming into this first corner. C. Jim and Zach also putting down quite fast lap time. This entire group is only neck and neck to each other. It's going to be super interesting to see. Then we've got Detective 209 next to Woody. Woody doing quite well, even though not being in here for a while. Then we have G-Dude 66 as well as the Unicorn in 21st with Micah at the back of the pack. He's certainly going to be seeing how many positions he can make up off this start. But first, we'll certainly get the lights out and on the way very soon. We've got seeing the cockpit view of Gunn. He's seeing straight down into that first corner there. It's not very wide, so we're going to see Highlander on that outside pin. What will he be able to do? Will he dive on the inside? Where the lights are... And it's lights out and away we go. Gunn gets a great start from Highlander. He makes it straight into that first corner. Highlander also going side by side with Waylon. Waylon gets an amazing start. Down in the first corner we go. Waylon just behind Highlander there. Have any coming off? No, it seems to be quite civil. The front of the pack is stretching out now, straight from behind. We've got Slide Science going side by side with Timmy, only 0.2 of a 6 second behind. Then we've got these drivers out the front. Highlander overtakes Gunn into the second corner, but he's now on the outside. Gunn defending for his life right now. He's able to stretch his legs, and Waylon and Highlander go side by side. Waylon's now been pushed off into the grass. He's become a lawnmower. Dallo's able to stretch out a little bit more. Highlander still saving his second place. Was close to becoming first, but Gunn was able to defend. Zachy as well. He's able to find himself a good position there in 6. We've got Timmy as well. These drivers now found themselves... Captain Awesome looking up the inside of C. Jim there. Woody going great after the terrible after the slower qualifying time there. He's been able to make up a few positions. We're now watching Highlander. We're coming along the main straight, that onboard there. watching this review. He goes a little bit wide. That's going to give Dado a lot of time to be able to come up behind him there. Highlander's been struggling in that first corner there, being able to not exceed track limits too many times, and then he will be receiving that penalty. He's just trying to stay behind Gunn, because we know that Gunn can really put down those faster lap times, and there will really be nothing that Highlander will be able to do when he gets too far away. Dado now right on the back of Highlander there, all chasing for first place here. Waylon also close to Dado, almost getting that overtake done. These corners are going to be really hard to overtake until they get that stretch done on the main straight. The next pack behind is going to be Zaki and Cirrus, really close. We're going to see right from this view in the back, Waylon really trying to put that power on. You can see the drivers closing to the edge of it. Down that main straight, you can see Waylon's got a great run on Dado, peeking down the inside. Is he going to be able to outbrake? It looks like he is able to do. Pushing, there's a little bit of contact there from the two drivers. Highlander's just still pushing to get to Gunn there, but Waylon and Dado are an absolute battle right now. We see a few drivers behind as well. They're able to make it out to that first corner quite well. We've got the Unicorn. He's unfortunately come off, and he's going to be able to need to put in a bit of work. English there. Cirrus taking down the inside of Zaki. Is he going to be? He's not able to get the move done. Zaki being able to defend from that one. Cirrus is still going to be there on the back of him, being able to try and attack. Highlander has been overtaken by one. I don't know how I've missed that one. Highlander's been too busy trying to reach to Gunn. Gunn's now put 0.6 of a second on these drivers here. It's not far, but it is going to be enough. Zaki's now losing further behind. He's now going to have to worry about Cirrus. Mark is trying to catch up to Cirrus now. We're watching these drivers now getting into lap 4. Absolute carnage here when we're watching these drivers coming out of the corners, trying at the absolute limits to not spin out. We can see Waylon taking on the absolute back of Gunn, going a little wider. Highlander's able to make up a little bit of time there, while Waylon, you can see this bumper view, amazing view to see how close this is, almost making contact. Waylon goes wide, that means Highlander's able to get a better run. Is he going to be able to get the overtake? No, Waylon's able to still get a good run out of that fourth corner there. Super tricky corner. Highlander's right on the back of Waylon now, trying to make that position back to second. Dado now still keeping up to this pack of fourth, just sitting back there, trying and looking to see when he can make his next move. It's been an absolute race so far. Okay, Waylon now looking at the inside, going into that first corner, leaving the room for Gunn though. Gunn doesn't have a lot of room on that left side, still able to make it through. They're now going into the second straight now, with Waylon only 0.25 of a second behind. Really good racing here. Waylon's trying to find that wider line. He is not able to go around that wider outside. I think he just broke a little bit late there. That enabled Highlander to get right on the back there. Highlander did have to brake to avoid contact, but this front pack here is really, really close racing. We can see from this trackside view just how close these drivers are. With Waylon putting a lot of pressure on Gunn. Gunn has been in a lot of these scenarios before. You see Bathurst, where Dado was on the back of Gunn, but Gunn is able to really defend and can basically throw all of the pressure out of the window. But Waylon absolutely filling his rear mirrors. Waylon gets a great run onto that the main straight here. He's going to be able to make it past line. But there's contact and Waylon goes off. Guns made it past. And then Highlander's gone out in front. He's gone wide again. Absolute carnage from this front pack here. Waylon's dropping all the way back. That's going to be the end of the race for Waylon. I don't know what's happened there. There's going to be some sort of instance there from Gunn where there's been contact. Not sure if Waylon didn't leave enough. We weren't able to see if Gunn had enough room on that inside or if it was just a racing incident. We'll have to look at the replays later on. But Highlanders now from that instance is been able to make it into first place and is trying to stretch his legs as much as possible. 1.7, 1.8 seconds now, stretching his legs because Gunn's having to defend from his teammate Dano here, where that's going to be a big issue there because this second pack is not, they're now getting tied up with 4th, 5th, 6th, this entire, all the way up until 10th, 11th, this entire pack is now neck and neck together, with Highlander absolutely stretching his legs. Around this corner here. Gunn being neck and neck to Dado. Gunn trying to find where he can get that corner. Looking up the inside. Is he going to be able to get a better run? No, he's not. It seems that Dados is able to just hang on there. Dados hanging on for his dear life. You can see Gunn, he knows when these braking points are, and you know that these drivers can work when they're under this pressure here. Zaki also on the back of Gunn. Another thing Gunn's going to have to look out for is to not let these drivers through while he's trying to overtake. You can see Dado is now stretching his legs as well as Highlander. Highlander's just been able to get away from this main pack here. Zaki taking a look down the inside. Gunn is not able to defend from that one. Gunn goes wide and is not able to defend. That leaves Cirrus and Timmy looking to get another run. Gunn is just dropping back from this race now. Gunn has not had it easy on this one. Is he going to be able to make up these places back? It's not even halfway through the race and we've seen so many different overtakes. Gunn's touching the back of Timmy now. Timmy did not get a great exit out of that corner, but with a little bit of bump it was able to help him. 0.4 of a second in front. Now Timmy braking a little bit late there as he's looking to overtake Cirrus. That's enabling Gunn to maybe be able to get a better corner here. Having a look here. We're just going to have a look back towards this mid-pack. These races here, looking if they can catch up here. Sim, G-Dude, Loza is finding it very tricky on that 4th corner, which I certainly found as well when I was racing. Which you'll see, that's what separates the drivers. Woody still doing an amazing job for not being in the simulator for a very long time. It's super impressive to see him back on that sim rig, like I said earlier. Detective unfortunately not able to make it back to this front pack. That's okay, we're going to go have a look back now. Zaki defending from this main pack here. You can see it's starting to separate out a little bit now. Bumper to bumper. We're going to watch this Timmy and Cirrus battle right now for 4th place. Them together trying to be able to push towards that 3rd place, but if they battle too much, Cirrus goes a little bit too far on the inside and slides, but he's able to make it okay, and Timmy's able to keep on the back of him there. an amazing race that it's been so far tonight. Highlander certainly stretching his legs out now. We can see Clarky just on the back there. Now that he's finally out of the pits after his incident, I believe, only driving very slow. That's okay. Dado as well as Zaki Cirrus once again finding it a little slippery around this corner. I really do like these roof cameras from these cars. You're really able to see right where these drivers are making their time up and also losing between. Zaki's slowly, you can see, slowly gaining on Dado there. There's just under 1.8, 2 seconds there between the drivers. Zaki's going to see where he can make up that extra time. We're going to see in about 5-6 laps time where the drivers are going to be coming into the pits, which, depending on how these tyres have lasted for each of the drivers. We've seen Gunn coming into the pit now. He's obviously had a failure. Something's gone wrong. Gunn's coming into the pit. Not sure if his tyres or if there's fuel. Or this must be an issue for him. That's going to put him very far back into the race, unless it is a genius pit stop possibly going onto hard tyres. And seeing if he can pit now. I'm not sure if that's the right decision for him. If that is the case, we've then got Zaki slowly pushing back towards, back away from Dado, but this battle between Cirrus and Simi is a very, very close one. Timmy's not able to find the point where he's able to make the overtake. Sitting behind here though is going to be able to let him to, on that main straight, to be able to cool off his tyres a little bit more, depending. This exhaust from the cars is not incredibly hot, so it's not a large watery when being directly behind the drivers. See just how close Cirrus is to being able to make that overtake. And is he able to get a good run coming out of this corner? Timmy's just behind, but Cirrus is able to make a move on Zaki. He's now up into third place, going side by side. Zaki almost touching wheels there. But Cirrus is able to make it pass into third place there. Is he going to be able to hold that position? We're not sure quite yet. Coming that fourth corner, very, very tricky corner. But we'll see. Timmy's able to overtake Zaki as well. Zaki seems to be just slipping behind. Wasn't able to make that same time that Cirrus did on that fourth corner, and is just trying to hold on to this pack here for third place. Cirrus now is stretching his legs a little bit. Now 1 second up on Timmy, but Timmy is certainly going to be trying his best to make it back to Cirrus there. Zaki now is losing a lot of time. Something has happened. May have had to lock up, and his tyre degradation may be coming into play now, where the Slide and Wadey are certainly going to be looking to make that into the 5th position there. A little bit of contact brush up against the wall from Slide there. It is so important that these drivers are finding that every single millisecond that they can. And you see, we saw in qualifying, Gunn right up against that wall on that main straight, trying to find just the biggest angle he can find into that first corner. Dado's now at the back of Highlander. These guys, teammates in Bathurst, now going, sorry, am I correct in saying, I believe so. yeah, I believe teammates at Bathurst. These guys are super, super good friends. Highlander going straight into the pits now. But he's spun out going into the pits. That's going to be a big, big time loss, meaning that Dato's able to see what time he can make now on his own up in the front there. Highlander going into the pit now. He's not going to be happy about that one. Absolute terrible driving from Highlander there. But we can see Dato is now not having to worry about Highlander. A lot of drivers, they are either great, drivers such as Max Verstappen are great being out in that front there and finding just doing their own thing, not being behind someone. And you can see other drivers where they really, really need that driver in front of them to be able to get that extra time. Move made by Zach on Timmy there. He's able to make it up into turn 4. Turn 5, my apologies. Turn 5. Yeah. Turn 5's the tricky corner. My apologies. Super, super close battle here. Timmy's going to see if he can stay on the back of him there. But it seems Zach is able to just get that extra little bit away. Timmy, after being overtaken, he's going to dive straight into the pits. That tyre degradation must be becoming an issue for a lot of these drivers now. Quite a slow pit lane, which is going to give these drivers a bit of time to show what they're capable of and really stretch that extra bit. Zach, you can see getting as close up to the wall as possible. You can see this view here, the right hand side of the cars. These drivers from Australia and New Zealand are very used to this compared to your other cars such as your Porsches and your American North America left-hand sided cars. It's going to be a lot more unnatural for these races as well. We can see, let's going to have a look here. There seems to be sliding cane. This front pack here, they're really trying to see and trying to hold on, not slip away from the front here. You can see Dato's now coming into the pits as well. Only being out for 1, maybe 2 laps by himself. That now gives a chance for Cirrus to be out in front. It seems to be, it's going to get to a point where these drivers will not be able to last much longer on these tyres, where they will have to come in the pits, and it will be a big decision if they do choose to go softs again, or what they do with the light rain. It doesn't seem to be affecting them quite yet, but track temperatures are certainly going to be cooling down with this cloud cover, which means that drivers may be able to find that extra couple of times just before the rain hits. We've got this inside view. Let's go to the onboard here. B Kane. These drivers starting to separate themselves now. We've got Highlander right on the back of Zaki. Zaki doing an amazing performance before. Bit confusing between Zach and Zaki, but that's okay. Highlander's just going to see how fast he can, because he really can't get held up here behind this driver. As we saw Gunn right on the back of Highland. Oh no, sorry, Gunn has not gone to pit, so that's no worries at all. And Highland's able to make the move. Going side by side now. Going into corner number 5. Highlander going with it further out inside. Is he going to be able to hit that apex? No, he's going to stay a little bit wider. And he wasn't able to get that move done. Where are we? We had... why am I having short-term memory loss? Dato, now after the pits, out in front by about 4 seconds now. Where you see Zaki and Highlander just behind. Dado seems to be one of those races where he really can find that time out in the front by himself. We're going to then see soon. We're coming on to lap 17 now. A lot of these drivers are just coming out with these fresh tyres. They're going to be able to try and not lock up, because that can immediately ruin that pit stop that they just went for. Highlander's still in the back of Zachy there, trying to make that overtake so he can push up towards Dado. We've got J King, B Wayne out in front, who've not yet gone to pit. These drivers are really going their stint, which they're going to be losing a lot of time now that these drivers behind them have got on fresh tyres. They may be, I can't remember if it's under or overcut, my apologies, by these other ones that have already pitted. We're going to see, yeah, sorry, Gunn has already pitted. He pitted very early in the race. It may be quite a good strategy for him, depending if he's able to keep those tyres last until the next 10 laps here. Yes. B Wayne and Wadey now fighting it out for third position here. These guys haven't properly pitted yet, but it doesn't matter. They're still driving their absolute hardest now. Zach has come into the pits to get that tyre change with Wadey and Kane. B Kane being able to make it out. We're not sure when these drivers are going to pit. They're hopefully going to be sat back in it's going to be a great thing once they pit to see where they're going to come back into this race. We've got Highlander and Zachy. Highlander's slipping a little bit away from these guys, needing to be able to find that time, find those corners where he can get those second. He seems to sorry, that's a back marker, my apologies. He goes wide again. Oh, and it's really, he's gone very wide. You can see he's had many issues. I don't know how he hasn't got any mechanical problems yet from his car, but he's still able to not be too far back against Zach there. I'm not sure if he's got if Highlander's going to receive any penalties from that one, but we're certainly going to find out soon. I'm not sure who's. Oh, my apologies. Gunn right there is overtaking Highlander. We saw him come off. No, not he didn't come off, but his tap early in the race. But he's now been able to make it back, pushing up towards Zachy and Dado Racer here now. This mid-pack here. Oh, yeah, mid-pack. Really trying to make it back towards this top racer, which is not far away at all. We've got Cirrus here driving a lot slower now. You can see those tyres, they're starting to wear away quite quickly. Became just trying to keep that stint out. Those tyres becoming quite old now. We've got Dado, I believe, out in front as he has pitted compared to these other races. We can see that these times that they're putting down is a lot faster. Last lap that he did was a 16.5. A lot of these faster. Timmy doing a 16.2. Highlander, unfortunately, after coming off, only did that 18.5. With Gunn 1 second in front of him. You can see that just how tricky that corner is for these drivers, especially Highlander struggling on that 5th corner, and letting Gunn get away. Gunn's trying to catch up to Zaki now, only 0.4 seconds in front of him. Gunn's trying to make his way back. Even after his incident, you can see just how good these drivers can be to make it all the way back up to Dado there. Will he be able to do that in 6 laps? We don't know. We certainly know that miracles can happen after watching Bathurst last weekend. Gunn is able to get that move done. Zaki is still trying to speak there, but Gunn is able to move back into 7th place there, slowly making his way back up to the pack. Zaki is now going to have to look in his rear vision mirror against Gunn, which is absolutely flying now, putting him down to 16.1, which is very fast for this race pace. Trying to conserve their tyres a little bit more. Zaki, yep. Zaki now defending heavily. He's gonna have to see if he can defend for the next 6 laps, but we can see just how determined Gunn is to make it back towards the front of this pack here. Is he going to be able to make it all the way up? We're not sure yet. But Gunn's certainly been getting quite a good run along this main straight here. Filling the mirror, it's a great strategy that these drivers do, filling their opponents' mirrors with their cars, making them think too much or not enough, no, too much, sorry, too much about the driver behind them, where they're not able to focus on the actual racing. Like you can see there, Zaki, like I was saying perfectly, went wider, but actually works out for him, because after corner 4 and then into 5 here, he's able to stay on that inside, touching that curve. He loses a little bit of traction, but is still able to make a good run, defending from Gunn. Let's see here, Highlander. We've got this further backpack here. Zach's now reaching on the back of Gunn. Gunn is going to have to both look at attacking and defending. He's gonna have to look at doing one or the other. The mind is only capable of doing so many things. Zach is going fully on the inside here. Gunn is all over the back of Zaki there. Now peeking into the corner 1. Is he going to be able to brake later? He does get the move done by Zaki. Zaki's now been pushed back. Zach, this is a mouthful. Zaki and Zach. Zach is now looking to overtake Zaki. Now with Highlander being able to make up a little bit of time. Now being after this a little bit of competition here. Some racing here from the Zach and Zaki here. You can see Dado Racer is stretching out. I think that's a bit of rain that I hear now. Yeah, we certainly see rain coming onto the track with 4 laps to go. We're not sure, will it be enough to make the drivers have to worry about it. It certainly seems that they're going to have to change up their lines and braking distance just a little bit to deal with this wetter track. You can certainly see J King and B Kane out in front here. I'm not sure. I don't believe they've pitted yet, so these guys such as Dado are definitely going to be catching up to them now. We're meaning that J King are going to be dropped back quite far into the race. Cirrus now also at the front of the pack, but on the back, Kane is on the back of Cirrus trying to get that move made. Not sure. There's not a lot of drivers dropped out here now, and are just sitting in the pits. And if their race has not gone the way that they've wanted it to. We can see now Highlander about 0.5 of a second behind Zach, trying to make up the time, where Zach and Zachy are still battling only 0.2 of a second difference. It's really going to be coming down to those later laps now, where Zach is taking a look down the inside. He may have got a better run. We've got Zachy now staying on the outside, where you've got Zach right over the back of him, coming into this little chicane here, coming out of the first corner. We've then got coming into turn 2 here. We're going to watch just the view from the cockpit view from Zach here, just trying to watch him overtake Zachy here. You can certainly see that rain starting to build up. Drivers using their wipers as well. It seems to only be at the first corners of the track where there is rain. The rain hasn't progressed over to the western side of the track quite yet, which we'll certainly see that come over quite soon. Zach getting a great run coming onto this first corner. He's going to be able to make up a little bit of time, and he's getting the pass done. They're going side by side now, coming into that first corner where Highlander, you can see him in the background. He's absolutely... Oh, Zach was not able to get that move done. Zachy was able to brake a little bit later. Then... I really need new names for Zach and Zachy. But no, certainly Zachy's able to hold on to 4th position there. We've got B. Kane. He's unfortunately spun out, and Sirius has been able to overtake him. I'm not sure. I believe these drivers, they must have pitted by now. Sirius is doing amazing for being in 1st place, coming onto our 26th lap here. This battle for 1st is going to be super interesting. Coming onto this last lap here, Sirius has been able to put in some really good racing here. Amazing strategy. It's been completely flipped up compared to when we were seeing Gunn, which is not even in the race anymore. Gunn, which was qualifying 1st, like I was saying, it is very different when you see these drivers qualify compared to their actual racing. Sirius going a little bit wide there. Flashbacks from seeing Highlander doing the exact same thing. That braking distance now is going to be changed. That the rain is starting to fall down on that track on the last lap. Kane is seeing if he's able to get on board here with Kane. He's looking on that inside. Sirius is going a little bit wide. I'm not sure how that happened, but Sirius just went way too wide. We've now got Kane braking into this 4th corner. Sirius is going to see if he can make up any more time to get that 1st position back, but it doesn't seem to be the case here. Kane is now stretching his legs, just trying to make it to that finish line. Zachy behind is not going to be able to make up that fast. Zach, though, is going to see. We're not sure if he's going to be able to make the move in time before the next... before the last corner. A little bit of lagging there with Kane. But we can certainly see Kane going side by side with Sirius there. Kane is going to be able to make it onto the main stretch. Sirius is getting overtaken by Zachy. Zach and Zachy go side by side, and Kane wins the race with Zachy in 2nd place. Zach in 3rd. Sirius coming across the line. We've got Highlander now. Right on the back. Is he going to be able to... He's not able to overtake J King. J King coming 5th with Highlander in 6th. This race now going side by side. J Kim and Captain Awesome. C Kim was able to take 8th place. with G Dude. Very, very, very close racing now, where we're able to see Loza, Wadey, Mark, and Unicorn just behind now. BK absolutely, as he should be, celebrating his win of the first race there. Zachy as well. Zach and Zachy both absolutely loving this race now. It's been a very, very, very close one for these guys as we go into qualifying for our second race. I'll be back in a moment.